Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Rosanna with Nest of Petals for Floss Tube Extra number 2. Today I'm going to be sharing a pattern that I released last year that is free. Halloween is coming up. It will be here before you know it, and I just wanted to reshare it with you. I'm also going to talk about how to upload a paper pattern onto your phone. So if you don't want to write on the paper, if you want to mark off where you're stitching, you're able to do that. I've had a couple of questions on that. And then I'm also going to share how I do my stitching on fabric. So first I'm going to kick it off with saying today is July 20th, 2024, and I hope you guys are enjoying your beautiful weekend. Thank you so much for all of your continuous support, love, and subscriptions. I have tons of new followers, and I want to thank Kim as well as Judy from JB Designs and Kim from Contented Needleworker for both sharing me. Kim recently purchased my visitor pattern, and I'm so thrilled and excited to see how her progress comes along. So thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And if you do love what I am sharing, please continue to give me that thumbs up. Leave your comments. Would love to be able to interact. And yeah, so let's kick it off with, again, I'm going to reshare. I kind of got sidetracked for a second, but I wanted to share that with you guys. Also, yesterday was my official 1-year anniversary being on YouTube and sharing my floss tube, my cross stitch, and my crafting love with you guys. So stay tuned for my next floss tube video. I will probably be doing a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and kick it off again. I know I'm kind of like here, there, everywhere. Scary Boo. I do have this linked below in the description box. It is for free. So if you want to snag a copy before Halloween comes, you're able to do that. So this was the first pattern I released last year. Again, it is free, and it was stitched on Weeks Dye Work Confederate Gray 36 count. The floss that was used was DMC. There are a few specialty stitches. So the ghost has its mouth right here, some back stitching, the web right here, the little string is back stitching, and then the eyeballs on the spider are French knots. If you don't feel comfortable with doing the French knots, you're more than welcome to just leave it blank and the spider has no eyes, or you can convert 2 of the axis into the eyes, whatever your heart desires. We do have this gorgeous border. I love it. We have the rickrack on the sides, and on the back there is the orange fall color. Super, super cute. It's darling. Super fast stitch. I know a couple of my followers on Instagram who I also follow, they either finish or have started this. So if you guys are stitching it, or if you grab the pattern, please share it with me. Tag me on Instagram. Would love to see your completion. So Scary Boo. So I'm going to flip over my camera. So I'm going to show you next how I actually upload the paper copy into an app that I have on my phone where you're able to mark it off. And I'll show you how to mark it off as well. And then I'll talk about how I do my stitching on my fabric. So hang on one second. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I am back. So this is the pattern that you guys would get free. So what you're gonna do, say you printed it out and you wanna upload it to your phone. So I'm gonna take a picture, and then I'm gonna go, make sure you have this app on. I have an iPhone, so I'm not sure if you are an Android user, if that would be there. I do know there is another app for Android called Pattern Keeper, I believe, where you're able to download pictures or even PDFs that you have to actually do what I'm going to show you. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go to my phone, and you can see I just have that picture. I'm going to do my arrow, and you'll see books. So click on that, and you'll see that it converts it over. So here is the actual paper copy on your phone. So if you want to play around, you can do that. But the sole purpose that I use this for is to mark off where I'm working. So I'm going to zoom in really quick. And depending on where you start, you just want to zoom in into that area, and you'll see this little marker at the top. So click on that. And then at the bottom, you'll see different size of markers, pencils, pens, whatever you want to call them. You can change the color. So if you select one, you click on that little button, you can change it to whatever color you'd like. So we're going to say red. I'm going to click on the X, and I'll just keep it on that one. I'm going to zoom in, and I will say the first stitches I did was right here. So I'm going to mark that off. The next stitches I did was this, then this one. I'm going to zoom over and mark those off. So you'll see as you zoom out, you can kind of see where you've worked, what you've completed, and what you have not. Say as you're working, you made a mistake. There's the eraser at the bottom, and you would just go to that spot and you would erase it. You can also do the little back arrow key. That will also take away what you did and what you didn't want if you don't want to use the eraser. Say you want to have a thicker, you can use that. You can also hold down on that marker and you can change the thickness of the marker. Another thing you can do if you change a color on the pattern, so I'm going to scroll over, and let's say I changed the DMC floss 3033 to a different number. I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to mark this out, and then I'm going to write what I changed it to. 8, 6, 9. Normally I write better than that, but this will do. So if you are doing color changes, you're able to do that, so you can refer back to your legend. So super, super easy. So if you don't want to mark up your paper, you can transfer again onto this app and you're able to mark off everything that you've done. You can keep your paper copies free and clear of any markers, pencils, etc. So I hope that is helpful. Again, if you guys have any questions on how to use this, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to stop the video now, and I'm going to next share how I do my stitching, and I'm actually going to use this pattern as an example. So bear with me 1 second. So I have my fabric, and I just pulled a fabric. I'm not trying to do anything fancy, and I'm going to just kind of go in. Again, this is just as a mock example. I will not be keeping this since I already have the actual pattern completed. Typically, I do either 2 or 3 inches in. Sometimes if I don't have enough fabric, I will have it sewn on the edges, and I'll just do the bare minimum of 1 inch. But again, for this example, I'm gonna just kind of go in and kick it off. So I am left-handed, so this might look a little different if you are a righty. So make this make this your own. So if you don't go from top right to bottom left, because that's how I work. I go from top right to bottom left, and then from bottom right to top left is how I stitch. If you don't do it that specific order, if you go like from the bottom or the top, just make sure it's continuous. Excuse me. The biggest thing you want to do is you want to make sure that all of your stitches are going in lane the same direction. So we're going to use Scary Boo as an example. So I'm going to zoom in. I got my marker highlighted and I got my marker selected that I want. All right, so I'm going to start with the B at the top corner. So I'm going again from top right to bottom left. And then I'm going to go in to the bottom right to the top left. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch, which is down here. That's where I'm going to go on the fabric. So I'm going to pull that. And when I do the stitches, if it's a straight line, depending on the design, I actually won't do the X's. unless I have to. Like if it's something I need to do an X for immediately, I will do that. If it's not, I will do like I'm doing, just the one strand of the 1X, or half the X, I guess you would say. And then I'll go back up and finish. So I'm gonna just stop here. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's another thing that I love about this is you can count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and then we're gonna just go back up. I don't believe I'm a tight stitcher, but I don't believe I'm a loose stitcher either. I feel like I have a good tension on it. And again, this is 1 strand over 2, and this is on a 32 count. So you can see my stitches. I hope this is clear enough for you. But yeah, that's how I work my stitches. If you guys have any questions on that, please let me know. I would be happy to answer, and I hope this is helpful. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it back over and I will end the video. So bear with me 1 second. I hope that makes sense. I hope it was helpful with showing you how to upload your paper onto your phone. Again, I use the app Books. I know there are several other apps out there that you're able to mark up every stitch that you're stitching within the pattern. I believe on Android it's Pattern Keepers, but don't quote me on it. I would just look to see what your phone offers. But again, on my iPhone, I use Books. I know on the iPad, which I've also done this on before, they also have Books on the iPad. So if you want the bigger screen, you're able to do that. I hope sharing how I stitch was also helpful. Another thing that I wanted to share is my hoop. And I'll share in the description box below like which one I use. I don't use, I can't remember the other hoops that there are. But this is the one, if I don't do it in hand, this is the hoop that I use. And if you see, it's loose. It's not, the tension is not very tight. So that allows it to be more like an in-hand stitch. And it rarely leaves a hoop mark. So I hope that was helpful, showing you how I do stitching. Again, I appreciate you guys joining me on this Floss Tube Extra. It was Floss Tube Extra number 2. Please leave in comments, again, any questions. And if you're loving what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel. And happy stitching. And I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. And I will talk to you soon. Love you guys mucho. Bye.